Alright, I'm going to post a quick video to give you a little bit of the behind the scenes of the Kickstarter projects. We're only on our second project. However, we've had quite a bit of people asking advice on getting their own project started. So I wanted to post this video to encourage anyone to do so and to offer whatever tips I can, with our limited experience so far. So if you're not familiar with Kickstarter, it's a pretty neat website that allows people with an idea to bring that idea to an audience, and then with the concept of crowdsourcing, where potentially a lot of people are willing to back the project with just a few dollars, that can accumulate and become enough money to produce music, get a movie made, start a new business, or get a new product off the ground. So we've had a lot of fun. We did one successful project. We're on our second project right now. We've backed 15 projects so far, and we've done those in the area of technology, publishing, games, food, design, and art. So it kind of gives you a way to see what categories you're interested in or what categories you've participated in. It's all kind of fun. So I'd encourage you to check out Kickstarter, the website, just as it's a neat way to see a lot of neat ideas, and then it's really cool seeing the audiences participate and bring these ideas to life. So again, I want to offer some tips for people that might be starting their own project. It's pretty simple. Just head over to Kickstarter and click on Start. It's going to ask you to put your project into a category. Let's make a dance project. We'll call it X. And I want to show you on this next page, you're going to have the ability to put in, images, titles, obviously all the information about the project, how long you want the project to run, from anywhere from 1 to 2 months. You can post the various rewards that your backers will get for participating, background story, and then you're going to want to set up an account. You'll need to set up an account with Amazon Payments. So Amazon, we're all familiar with. Payments is just a portion of Amazon that lets you accept money as well as buy stuff from Amazon. I wanted to show you also at the bottom of this page something that you don't want to overlook is this last paragraph that talks about Kickstarter is going to charge 5% fee for using the website, and then Amazon is going to charge between 3 and 5%. Now I'd go ahead and assume it's going to be 5%. I don't know how to change that, or how that 3 to 5 happens, but let's assume it's going to be 5%, which means you're going to have about 10% of your total funding costs are going to be fees for both Kickstarter and Amazon. That's something to keep in mind, but also keep in mind taxes. And if you bring in enough money on a project like this, there's going to be some tax liability, and you'll want to incorporate that, or else you'll might be left with a surprise at the end. Now, when you're going to create your project, our first project was successful. It was these Velcro-backed patches, and there really weren't a lot of other projects out there to get ideas from, or to check out on what strategies they used. So in other words, when you're creating a product like this, typically the more quantity you buy, the less price per unit. But we didn't know if a few people would be interested, if a few hundred people might be interested, or maybe a few thousand people would be interested. So we had to kind of start somewhere, and our initial funding goal was about $750. It turns out, if we, looking back on it with 2020 hindsight, if we would have just barely reached our goal, we probably would have produced patches, and we would have been able to get them out to people, but we probably would have had some tax liability. We wouldn't have really made any money. Luckily, we overshot that goal, and the project was successfully funded and then some, which allowed us to not only buy enough patches in quantity to have patches left over, which is the real goal, but it also brought in about $350 in profit, which is great. So we not only paid the shipping, paid all the fees and then the taxes, but then we made a couple of dollars, and that's great. So we probably should have put our funding goal at more like $2,000 instead of $700, but that's what I'm hoping to convey to people. Don't think of just the cost of the product and shipping if you can, or if you don't have shipping, don't think of just the cost of the product, but remember there's going to be some fees and some tax liability there as well. Now, I mentioned Kickstarter is going to take 5% of your total, but I think it's totally worth it, and let me show you. So when you get a project, it's going to have a page like this. There'll be some information at the top. On the left side of the page, you're going to be able to put a video or a picture to catch people's eye. You can describe the project down the left side there. On the right side, it'll keep a tally of how many people are participating and what level you're funded. information about the person who creates the project, and then information about these various rewards for the different levels that people back the project. And this is something that if you're going to be doing something similar to other projects on Kickstarter, you can learn a lot by checking out those other projects. I encourage you to do so. So in other words, do some research on other Kickstarter projects before you start your own. But once you've got your own idea, I encourage you to click start, get the project going. You'll need to have it approved by Kickstarter, and then you'll have a link so that you can send out like a preview. And I recommend sending out that preview to some friends. That's what I did. I started one, sent out the preview, got some feedback, and then tweaked it a little bit, and then went live with it. While it was running live, you have the ability to update the project, send updates out to the people that are backing it, keep track of all the people that are participating, and then get feedback from them. And all that stuff is part of the reason that they charge that 5%. But they offer quite a bit more, and that's what I wanted to show you as well. So I open up this little toolbar here because this is a project that is already been funded. You get the same toolbar when the project is is still going. Now I'm going to click on the dashboard here and scroll up real fast because there's some banking stuff up there, but you'll get some analytics through Kickstarter, and you'll get stuff like this daily chart, so you see what days you had spikes in participation and what days you had fewer. So if you're doing different campaigns like letting people know on YouTube or on different blogs or whatever, then you have an idea of what was working. On this one, again, in real time, you'll get information about where the pledges are coming from. So in our case, we had quite a bit more coming from outside of Kickstarter than inside, which makes sense because we do quite a bit of stuff on YouTube. And as you see, when we get down to these analytics, it'll tell us that most of the money came from YouTube and whatnot. But it's interesting to see that Soldier Systems, a real popular website, did a brief mention of us on their website, and that brought in $275. That was 11% of our funding. And like I say, that was pretty much all of our profit right there. So just going out, and luckily this happened on, we didn't solicit this, but going out and doing active marketing can really help your project. We can see that some forums down here, how participation in those forums helped out. And it's really neat stuff that you do get a lot of information from Kickstarter. It's definitely worth the 5%. More information here about where the video was played, and again, if we would have been better at marketing, so to say, the project, we probably would have been able to use this data. And then it gives us information about which reward was most popular. So they do give you quite a bit of analytics. It's worth the 5% in my mind. And I hope this offers some insight as to a little bit more, so you have a little bit more resource when you're starting your project. But you really don't have a lot to lose. If the project doesn't get backed, if you don't reach it, no harm, no foul. They don't charge you anything. They won't charge the people that backed it anything. That'll allow you to go in and tweak your project and post it again, or try something else. But hopefully you won't have to deal with that. Hopefully you'll have a successful project and have a lot of fun getting an idea out of your head out into reality and out into the hands of people that thought it was a cool idea. So we're having fun with it. We want to encourage other people to try it out, and let us know when you've got a project going. We'll help you spread the word. All right, I hope this was an interesting video for you. As always, thanks for watching.